wanted to talk about a couple of differences. We get you guys a lot to focus on getting this back foot behind me if I'm kicking this way. So I'm always stepping in, my toes behind me, and that's all about getting these hips in that side position so you can do a nice side kick out in front of you. The key with what you're doing when you're doing this is that we're trying to get you to do a nice snap side kick. So you're automatically in that position, your hips are there, and you can just pop that kick straight out, nice and easy. The opposite to a snap side kick is the thrust kick. A thrust side kick is more where you have to actually bring your hip around and turn your foot at the same time as you kick. So that means that I need to actually, when I'm stepping here and I step up, this time my toes are pointed more to the side, not behind me. They point to the side. And as I do that, I lift my knee to the side, so I'm in a side position. And as I lift, I then corkscrew and push out with my hip. So I come over and drive. And I'm really driving. My foot is still turning. It's still the same concept as before, that your foot has to be behind you. But you're corkscrewing it through and driving forward. This gives you a huge increase in power because you're able to use your hips and engage them as part of the kick. When you step up with your toes already behind, you're sacrificing power for speed because you're already in the position to throw the kick. So therefore, it's all about your leg. Pop! Straight out as fast as you can. It's always a sacrifice in everything you do. You've got to think about, do I want more to hit harder? Do I want to hit slower? If I want to hit faster, then I need probably lessen off a bit of speed. You can't generally have everything unless you're training all the time. So, snap side kicks, because we're doing lots at the moment. If you're going to be stepping up, remember to point that hand, snap up, foot behind me, lift and kick. That's a nice snap side kick. But if you want to be doing power, then you're going to be stepping up toes forward instead of toes behind you, but you're going to pivot into that kick. So you're going to be here and boom, drive that through. And it's the same for if you're kicking with your back leg. So if you're doing your back leg and you lift it and you're pivoting through and you turn those hips and pivot that foot as you're doing that kick. The other thing with your thrust side kick you need to be thinking of is that when you're extending that out and it gets to its full extension, you should lock it into place. And that is when your hip rotates and locks straight in and you have all the power going out through. So you're holding it there ever so slightly. You lock that and you drive it out. So if I was here and I'm going to do a thrust side kick, boom, driving it straight out and hold it out there a little bit. Even if it's a front leg one, I'll be stepping up and drive it out. I'm not snapping it back. So I'm not kicking it out and then pulling it back as such. I'm not here going boom and snapping it back in. I'm really holding it. Boom. Then I can pull it back in and down. You just need to add that little pause on the thrust side kick as you drive through and smash the opponent with all the power from your hips, rotating around and fully locking out, hitting with your heel and driving through that thrust side kick. So there's a couple of variations on the side kick. Practice those. You've got the principles and it's all about the footwork on the ground. You have to turn. Every kick, it's about what happens down here. Except, well, even for front kick, it's about what happens down here, but the foot doesn't move for front kick. But every other kick, it's all about this foot on the ground. Whatever this is doing will dictate what kick you're going to do, the power or the speed that you're going to generate with it. That all affects the hips, which affects the body, affects the head, and from there you can move your whole body to affect any number of kicks. So think about that when you're doing your side kicks. Practice both variations of both the snap side kick with your toes already behind and that power thrust side kick. So we've got your snap and then you've got your power driving through. Alright guys, practice that. See you in class. Whoops.